All right, so what is going on in Chesterfield this week? Looks like we've got some scholarship winners, some serious budget talk, and even some fun stuff like Restaurant Week. So, the usual mix of things that make Chesterfield, well, Chesterfield.
Yeah, exactly. You've got those achievements, like you mentioned, the planning for the future and ways for people to really get involved. And, speaking of those achievements, why don't we start with those leadership for the 21st Century Scholarships?
Those are always inspiring. 6 high school seniors from around the county got these $2,500 scholarships. Not a bad way to kickstart their college journey, right?
Oh, no.
And you know what I think is really cool about this? It's a team effort between the county, the public schools, and VSU.
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean. That kind of collaboration, it's pretty awesome to see. And it shows you, everyone is invested in these students and their futures. It's not just about the money, It's a statement about supporting these young leaders right here in Chesterfield.
Right, it's like sending a message. And they made sure to pick winners from all over the county, too. Each of the 5 magisterial districts has a winner, and then there's one from Maggie Walker Governor's School, too. So it's, really showcasing talent from different parts of Chesterfield.
Makes sense. It kind of, spreads the recognition around, and each district has its own flavor, right?
Yeah.
Different communities, different perspectives. So seeing that representation from each one, that's a good thing.
For sure. And just to name them, we've got Alexis Sneed from Thomas Dale High, that's Bermuda District. Then there's Nathan McCrae, he's from Clover Hill High, representing Clover Hill District.
Yeah.
And let's see, for Dale District, it's Munakinso Njoku from LC Bird High.
Got it.
Okay. And then we've got Layla Petty from Cosby High in Matoaka District. And from Midlothian District is William Jackson from Midlothian High. And finally, representing Maggie Walker Governor's School, there's Sophia Watson. So, yeah, quite a group.
Yeah, really impressive. And thinking about things that affect the whole county, we've got this public hearing on the budget that's happening this Wednesday, the 26th at 6 p.m. Over at 101 Iron Bridge Road. And this is where residents can, step up and share what they think about how the county's spending money.
Yeah, this is a big one. It's about the proposed budget for the next fiscal year, which kicks off in 26. But it's also about the 5-year capital improvement program.
Yeah.
So that's like the county's long-term plan for investing in big stuff, like roads, schools, all those public facilities.
Right, the stuff that shapes the county, really.
Exactly. Yeah. And of course, they'll be talking about local tax rates too. So anyone who's interested in how Chesterfield's doing financially, this is the night to be there.
It's a real chance for people to have a say. Like the budget, it basically tells you what the county's priorities are, right? Which services are getting funded, what projects are getting the green light, and that capital improvement program, that's shaping Chesterfield for years down the line.
Yeah, it's thinking ahead for sure. And the tax rates, well, those obviously hit everyone's wallets directly.
So yeah, if you've got opinions or even just questions, this is the time to speak up.
Absolutely. All right, now let's move on to something a bit more tasty. Chesterfield Restaurant Week is just around the corner, from April 4th to the 13th.
Oh, nice. I always enjoy Restaurant Week. It's a good excuse to try out some new places.
Oh, for sure. And this year, they've got over 50 places taking part. It's not just restaurants either. There are wineries, breweries, even some dessert shops in the mix.
So, something for everyone, basically.
Pretty much, yeah. Whether you're, looking for a fancy dinner or just a quick sweet treat, there's probably something for you.
What I also like about it is, it's not just about the food. The proceeds, they go to the Chesterfield Food Bank Outreach Center this year. So you're supporting a good cause while you're enjoying yourself.
Exactly. You can grab a bite, have a drink, and know that you're also helping to fight hunger right here in Chesterfield.
No, that's a win-win. And talking about helping out, the annual diaper drive is happening too. They're collecting diapers and wipes for families in need.
Yeah, it's the 12th year they're doing this. And it's such a simple but important thing, right? Because those early years with a baby, they can be tough. And having enough diapers can really make a difference for a family.
Definitely. It shows you how a little bit of help can go a long way. And speaking of making a difference, they're also looking for nominations for the Senior Volunteer Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah, that's right. This is all about celebrating those incredible seniors who are out there volunteering their time and energy to make Chesterfield a better place.
Exactly. To be nominated, they have to be at least 60 and live in the county. And the deadline for those nominations is April 18th. So if you know someone who deserves to be recognized, someone who's really making a difference, nominate them.
Yeah, spread the word. And for folks with green thumbs, Chesterfield Parks and Rec is taking applications for garden plots over at Rockwood Park. They just renovated the community gardens there, and they're looking for people to get planting.
That's cool. I love the idea of community gardens. They bring people together, right? And they encourage folks to grow their own food. It's good for the community, good for the environment.
Totally agree. The plots are first come, first served, so if you're interested, you better hurry up and apply. The gardening season officially starts with a ribbon cutting on Tuesday, April 1st.
Nice. And for those who are, maybe more into the big picture of environmental stuff, Chesterfield's Earth Day Festival is coming up too. That's Saturday, April 12th, from noon to 4 p.m. at the Chesterfield County Fairgrounds.
Yeah, this is always a good one. It's free, family-friendly, and they've got a whole bunch of participants like county departments, local organizations, businesses, all, focused on being more eco-friendly and taking care of the planet.
It's a good way to learn some practical tips, like how to be more environmentally conscious right here in Chesterfield.
For sure. And speaking of things that are good for the community, let's not forget about sports. The Chesterfield Sports Hall of Fame is taking nominations for their 2025 class.
Right. So they're looking to recognize the athletes, the coaches, all the people who've made a real impact on sports in Chesterfield.
Exactly. They're taking nominations for athletes, coaches, people who've contributed to sports in other ways, even entire teams. The deadline to get those nominations in is Thursday, May 31st.
So, if you know a local sports legend or a team that deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, go ahead and nominate them. It's a way to honor our local sports history.
Okay, so now let's talk about some specific events that are happening soon. This Friday, March 28th, there's an event called Building Resilience is a Community Endeavor, Building Hope Through Peer Recovery. It's being hosted by the Chesterfield Suicide Awareness and Prevention Coalition.
That sounds important. Where is it taking place?
It's at Bright Point Community College from 8:30 a.m. to noon. And this year, they're focusing on the role of peer support workers. Those folks who've been there themselves and can offer support from a place of shared experience.
Right. That's so valuable. And then on Saturday, March 29th, there's Cotton Patch Gospel at Swift Creek Mill Theater.
Oh yeah, that's Harry Chapin's musical, but it's set in rural Georgia. So it's like a southern take on the gospel stories.
Interesting. Sounds unique.
And then on Monday, March 31st, over at Bensley Recreation Center, they've got a couple of things going on. First, from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m., there's Brain Power Hour.
Oh, what's that about?
It's all about, keeping those brain cells active. They've got word games, trivia, all sorts of stuff to challenge you mentally.
Sounds like a good time.
And then also at Bensley Recreation Center, but a bit earlier, from 1 p.m. to 1:45 p.m., they're doing a presentation on parks and recreation activities outside of the center. This one is geared towards folks 50 and older, and it's about all the programs they offer that, aren't actually held at the recreation centers.
Nice. So it's about exploring different parts of the county. Right?
Exactly. So good for folks who like to stay active and get out there. And, looking back at last week, the third annual Teen Summit RVA just happened on Saturday, March 22nd.
Oh, right. That big event for high schoolers. How did it go this year?
It was a big success. It was held at the Greater Richmond Convention Center, and it's all about, developing leadership skills in those young folks. They had all kinds of activities, networking opportunities, even a chance to explore different job options.
It's great that they're giving teens that kind of, head start on their future.
Absolutely. And it's not just about, their own personal success. They also talk about things like community violence and how they can be part of making things better.
Empowering them to make a difference, basically.
That's it. And speaking of young people doing great things, a Robious Middle School student just won the Central Virginia Spelling Bee.
Oh, wow. Congratulations to her. Her
name is Harper C, and she's in the 8th grade. And this means she'll be representing our region at the Scripps National Spelling Bee in May.
That's a huge accomplishment.
It is. And she won in the 20th round. Can you believe that?
Wow. She must be a seriously good speller.
Oh, yeah, for sure. She spelled, she spelled Bavette and then Taurus to win it.
Really impressive. And, while we're talking about Chesterfield County Public Schools, they have a new initiative for seniors and others who support the schools.
Yeah, they're calling it the Champion Card.
Yeah.
It's basically a new version of the old Super Senior Passport.
So who can get this Champion Card?
It's for Chesterfield residents who are 60 or older, CCPS retirees, and anyone who's a community partner, those folks who are really involved in supporting the schools.
And what are the benefits?
Well, you get free admission to all sorts of school events like sporting events, music, and theater performances, things like that. You also get discounts on adult education classes and invitations to special events.
So it's a way to stay connected with the schools even after, you're not a student or a parent anymore.
That's the idea. And if you want to get a champion card, or if you had a super senior passport and need to update it, CCPS has been holding sign-up events throughout March. You can check their website for the details.
Sounds good. And last but not least, we've got our adoptable pet spotlight.
Oh, yes. This week, it's Pluto. He's a 2-year-old pit bull mix, neutered male, weighs about 55 pounds, and he is described as a very happy and playful dog.
He sounds adorable. What's he like?
He is. He loves toys, loves treats, and he even knows how to sit. He's, the kind of dog who really enjoys being comfy, so he loves couches and chairs.
Sounds like a real cuddle bug.
He is. If you want to meet Pluto, you can call Chesterfield County Animal Services at 804-748-1683, option 2. And the shelter is located at 9300 Public Works Road.
Right. And just a few quick reminders before we wrap things up.
Right. So first, if you see anything weird, like, some kind of discharge going into the storm sewer system, make sure to report it. There's a hotline for that. 804-717-6161. It's a 24-hour hotline, so you can call anytime. This helps protect our waterways, so it's important.
For sure. Keeping our environment clean is crucial.
Absolutely. And, emergencies can happen anytime, so it's a good idea to sign up for Chesterfield Alert. That way you'll get all the important updates and information. You can find out how to sign up on the county website.
Good reminder. Being informed is key in those situations.
And finally, if you're part of a group or organization that's, looking for a speaker, check out the #BField Speakers Bureau. They got a whole bunch of experts on all sorts of topics, and they're available to speak to community groups. You can find more info on their website.
That's a great resource.
And that's all for this week's look at what's happening in Chesterfield. It's the week of March 25th, 2025.
Thanks for listening. For more info on anything we talked about today, head over to the Chesterfield County website, chesterfield.gov.